Thales, the beginning of Western philosophy. Hello, and welcome to LogosNetTV Global. Today we are going back more than 2,500 years to the ancient city of Miletus on the western coast of Anatolia. This is where we encounter one of the earliest and most influential thinkers in the history of Western philosophy, Thales of Miletus. Thales is traditionally believed to have lived between approximately 624 and 546 BCE. But why is Thales so important? Because he represents a major turning point in human thought. Before philosophers such as Thales, natural events were often explained through myths, divine powers, and the actions of gods. Thales began asking a different kind of question. What if nature has its own explanations? What if the universe has an underlying principle that human beings can discover through reason, observation, and inquiry? This change in the way human beings asked questions would eventually become one of the foundations of Western philosophy and scientific thinking. Thales' basic idea: everything has a root. One of Thales' most famous ideas is, everything has its root in water. In Greek philosophy, the word arche refers to the fundamental principle, origin, or first substance underlying reality. Thales believed that this fundamental principle was water. Why water? Water is essential to life. Plants need it, animals need it, human beings need it, and water can change its form. It can flow as a liquid, become vapor, or freeze into a solid. For Thales, water therefore offered a possible explanation for the diversity and transformation we see in nature. His idea may seem simple to us today, but the question behind it was revolutionary. What is the fundamental reality behind everything we see? This question became one of the central problems of ancient philosophy. Later, philosophers would give different answers, but the search for an underlying principle had begun. Everything is alive. Another idea traditionally associated with Thales is the belief that everything is alive. Thales appears to have viewed nature as something filled with movement, activity, and life. He did not necessarily see the universe as a collection of completely lifeless objects. Instead, nature could be understood as an interconnected whole. Water, earth, plants, animals, and human beings all belong to the same natural world. This way of thinking reflects an important feature of early Greek philosophy: the attempt to understand nature as a unified whole. Rather than separating humanity completely from nature, Thales encouraged a way of thinking in which human beings were part of the larger order of the cosmos. Everything is filled with divine beings. Thales is also traditionally associated with the statement, everything is full of gods. At first glance, this may sound like a purely religious statement. But within the context of Thales' philosophy, it can also be understood as an expression of his belief that nature is filled with activity, life, and forces that human beings should seek to understand. The important point is that Thales did not simply abandon traditional ideas overnight. Instead, he began moving toward a new way of thinking about nature. The universe could be examined, it could be observed, its patterns could be investigated, and human reason could be used to search for explanations. This gradual movement from mythological explanation toward rational inquiry is one of the reasons Thales occupies such an important place in the history of philosophy. The earth floats on water. Thales is also associated with a remarkable cosmological idea: the earth floats on water. According to this view, the earth rests or floats upon a vast body of water, rather like a ship. Of course, modern science gives us a completely different explanation of the structure of the Earth and the universe. But the historical importance of Thales' idea lies elsewhere. He was trying to explain the structure of the world through a natural principle. Instead of simply saying that the Earth exists because a god created it in a particular way, he attempted to imagine a physical basis for the Earth's existence. His answer was incorrect by modern scientific standards. But the method of asking the question was revolutionary. Nature can be explained through reason. Perhaps the most important aspect of Thales' philosophy is his attempt to explain nature through reason and observation. Thales sought natural explanations for natural events. This represents a fundamental change in human thinking. Instead of asking only, which god caused this event? The thinker could ask, what natural process caused this event? This distinction is enormously important. It creates the possibility of investigation. It encourages observation. It allows human beings to compare events, search for patterns, measure things, and develop explanations. In this sense, Thales helped establish an intellectual tradition in which the natural world became something that human beings could investigate rationally. Thales and geometry. Thales was not only a philosopher, he is also traditionally associated with important developments in geometry and mathematics. Ancient sources attribute several geometric principles and theorems to him. His importance lies especially in the use of reasoning, measurement, and proof. One of the most famous stories associated with Thales concerns the measurement of the height of a pyramid. According to the traditional account, Thales used the length of a shadow to determine the height of a pyramid. The method is based on similar triangles. Imagine that we know the height of a person and measure the length of that person's shadow. At the same moment, we measure the length of the pyramid's shadow. Because the sun's rays can be treated as parallel, the two triangles have the same proportions. In mathematical form, h over s equals h over s. Therefore, h equals h times s over s. Using this simple relationship, the height of the pyramid can be calculated. Whether every detail of the traditional story is historically accurate is uncertain. But the story beautifully illustrates the kind of thinking associated with Thales. Observe, measure, compare, calculate. Instead of simply looking at the pyramid and guessing its height, mathematical reasoning provides a method for finding the answer. Thales and astronomy. Thales is also remembered for his interest in astronomy. He is said to have observed the movements of the stars and planets and contributed to the study of celestial phenomena. One of the most famous traditions surrounding him is the claim that he predicted the solar eclipse of 585 BCE. Historians continue to debate exactly how this prediction could have been made and how much of the traditional account is reliable. Nevertheless, the story reflects Thales' reputation as a thinker who carefully observed the heavens. He was interested in patterns in the sky, celestial movements, and the possibility of understanding astronomical events through observation. This was another important step toward a systematic study of nature. Practical knowledge and engineering. Thales' interests were not limited to abstract philosophy. He is also associated with practical applications of mathematics and geometry. According to traditional accounts, he used geometric methods to calculate distances and solve practical problems. This is important because it demonstrates that knowledge does not have to remain purely theoretical. Mathematics can be used to measure the world. Geometry can help determine heights and distances. Astronomy can help humans understand the movement of celestial bodies. Observation can become practical knowledge. This combination of philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, and practical reasoning became an important characteristic of the intellectual tradition that followed. The School of Miletus. Thales is traditionally regarded as a leading figure of the Milesian school, one of the earliest schools of Greek natural philosophy. His influence can be seen in the thinkers who followed him, especially Anaximander and Anaximenes. These philosophers continued asking questions about the fundamental nature of reality, but they did not simply repeat Thales' ideas. They proposed different answers. This is another important feature of philosophy. A philosopher does not have to provide the final answer. Sometimes the greatest contribution is to ask a question that inspires generations of thinkers to continue searching. Thales helped create exactly this kind of intellectual tradition. Thales' legacy. Thales' legacy can be divided into several major areas. Philosophy. He is traditionally regarded as one of the founders of Western philosophy because he encouraged rational investigation into nature and reality. Mathematics. His name became associated with important geometric principles and with the use of measurement and reasoning. Astronomy. His observations of the heavens contributed to the ancient study of celestial phenomena. Scientific thinking. Most importantly, Thales helped establish the idea that nature can be investigated through observation and reason. This does not mean that Thales was a modern scientist. He was not. His cosmological explanations were often incorrect by modern standards. But the significance of his thought lies in the direction he helped establish. He encouraged human beings to ask, how does nature work? And can we understand it through reason? Quick facts about Thales. He was one of the earliest Greek philosophers. He was a major figure associated with the Milesian school. He placed great importance on observation and reasoning. He investigated nature, mathematics, astronomy, and practical problems. And he helped establish a tradition of thinking that would eventually contribute to the development of scientific inquiry. His ideas may seem primitive compared with modern science, but we should remember something important. The history of science does not begin with having every answer. It begins with asking better questions. Famous sayings associated with Thales. Several sayings have traditionally been attributed to Thales. One of the most famous is, "Everything has its root in water." Another is, "It is hard to know oneself." And another traditional saying is, "Hope is a dream seen while awake." Whether all of these sayings can be historically confirmed as genuine words of Thales is uncertain. Nevertheless, they have become part of the traditional image of Thales and reflect themes associated with ancient philosophical wisdom. So, why does Thales still matter today? Because his greatest contribution was not simply the claim that water is the fundamental principle of reality. His greatest contribution was the way he approached the world. He observed, he questioned, he measured, he reasoned, and he searched for natural explanations. Thales represents one of the earliest moments when human beings began to look at the universe and ask not only, what does this mean? But also, how does this work? That question opened a new path. A path that would lead from the early philosophers of Miletus to mathematics, astronomy, physics, and eventually the modern scientific worldview. More than 2,500 years later, we are still asking many of the same fundamental questions. What is the universe made of? What is the origin of reality? How does nature work? And can human reason truly understand the cosmos? Thales did not have all the answers, but perhaps that is precisely why he remains so important. He helped humanity discover the value of asking the question. And with that question, Western philosophy began. Using the memory map method, one of the rapid learning techniques, these visual and auditory contents that we have prepared were created to help you learn faster. Don't forget to add a screenshot of the philosopher memory maps to your archive. Stay with love and never lose your curiosity. This is LogosNetTV Global, exploring the history of ideas from the ancient world to the modern age.